back to All About the Brews. We are on to the coast-to-coast region of this bracket now. Got a little get-together tonight, so we finally got all the guys back together to do this. We have our friend Zeb with us today doing it, so he's going to be doing the reviews as well. Really excited. We also have Mason, which you've seen in previous videos as well. So the two beers we have facing off in the first head-to-head. Brad, you want to talk about these two beers?
Yeah, we have the... go ahead, Zeb, pronounce that for me.
Adamantium.
Antimantium.
Wolverine.
Oh, adamant. Oh, you're right.
That's what gave him the claws.
The metal claws.
Brewery.
Metal claws.
Empirical brewery in Chicago. Of course, a lot of these breweries, again, from Chicago. And a lot of what's cool about this brewery, the Empirical, they use a lot of the periodical and scientific terms to name their beers. So that's one of their trademarks.
All right, the second beer we have here is the Riverlands Brewing Company, St. Charles, Illinois. It's brewed with pride. Enjoy the ride, is what it says. So this is a New England double IPA brewed with Vic Secret, Ella, and Motueka hops. So
we got a heavy hitter.
Yeah, we got
8.5 ABV
versus the 6.8% adamantium beer over here. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to get these pours. We'll talk about the head retention, go through all 5 aspects. Once again, that's aroma, creativity, taste, label design, and the head retention. So we'll get these poured up. We'll see you in a second. All right, so we've got both these poured, and right off the bat, I noticed the Tevatron, a little bit better head retention than the adamantium. You guys want to go ahead and start with the adamantium first then?
Sure.
All right, so we'll go ahead and give it a quick smell here. Yep.
Yeah.
Make sure it's the right one. Aroma-wise, smells like an IPA.
Smells like an IPA. Yeah, for the price.
Taste-wise, it's actually
very smooth for an IPA.
It's extremely smooth.
Not a whole lot of bitterness right there.
Pretty light.
Light-bodied, obviously.
Okay. Well, 40 IBU. What does that mean?
Not very bitter.
International bitter unit, so it goes up to 100. This is a 40 out of 100, so this is
that makes a lot of
sense. A little less bitter than your heavy hitter, which is double IPA. I'm not sure if it has the IBUs on there.
Yeah, what was the ABV for this one?
This was 6.8.
So it's very smooth for 6.8, in my opinion. And not really boozy.
Overall, I mean, just kind of your typical IPA. Honestly, if I were to taste this, I would kind of think it's more of a session IPA, just because of how light it actually is. But like I said, it is 6.8%. So yeah, not really much to say about that. Do you have anything you guys want to add at all? Nothing. So let's go ahead and go on to the Tevatron here. I'm going to give that a taste, and you guys hear some commotion in the background. Like I said, we're having a party, so we're just trying to have some fun. The Tevatron, really not getting much aroma at all on this one.
I think it smells good.
I think it smells a bit citrusy.
Ooh, this one's more.
Tastes like iced tea.
It's pretty good.
I like the color of this one better. I don't know if there's a appearance thing on here. No, I don't care. Looks good.
Even though I don't think this has milk sugar in it, you won't get some of that sweetness. I don't know if it's from some of the hops that are in there.
What was the bitterness rating on this?
See, I don't know if this has the IBUs on there or not.
But it is 8.5.
It is
big
8.5, so
big hitter.
I think
it's
smooth for 8.5.
And it's honestly a little bit thicker though too.
And not like a syrupy thick.
And like, I mean, it's creamy. It's a creamy IPA.
Yeah, the aroma's
creamy,
not quite there.
Citrusy.
We don't have COVID, guys, but it really does not have much of a smell.
Okay, so overall, I had the adamantium across the board, except for taste. I took into factor was the 8.5 on this. I thought this was a great taste, very smooth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an IPA guy, so I think it's all bitter. But I was looking at aftertaste, and
okay.
Neither one of them had aftertaste. This was very drinkable, but I took into the 8.5 on this, and it was also very drinkable. It was smooth. So I took this on taste, but the aroma, creativity, label design, and head retention was the adamantium, and kind of speaks for itself. The whole Wolverine.
Well, I feel like Wolverine, especially, yeah, for sure. Brad.
Yeah, I feel the same. I'm going to say it wrong. Aluminium. 3 out of 2 is what I give. So the aroma, thought the Tevatron liked it just a little bit better. Creativity gave it to Tevatron because of the many different hops and the thickness to it and the darkness in the body. So taste, label design, and head retention I gave to this one here.
Yeah, and I think I'm sticking with that 3-2. I differ from you a little bit. I went ahead and did creativity, taste, and head retention. Gave that to the Tevatron. Head retention, obviously, you poured it, you swirled it. It kept the constant head retention the whole entire time. As far as label design and aroma go, I do went ahead and gave that to the Adamantium here. Overall, just a great design. Like we did the scientific little scientific table on there, how they kind of did that. Was really cool, and they incorporated that into their beers. So I do have Tevatron, however, taking it 3-2. So yeah, Tevatron's the winner for me.
I had a 4-1 with the adamantium. I thought the aroma, the creativity, the label design, the hair retention was a lot better with adamantium. The taste, though, like Zeb said, it was a lot better. I like that, but the adamantium was a lot better.
Okay, all right.
All right, so I had 3-2 as well in favor of the adamantium. I had adamantium in aroma, creativity, and label design. Big thing for creativity was actually not creativity, label design. I'm a fan of Wolverine. Who isn't? So label design for sure went to adamantium. Head retention, Tevatron, obviously, like Jake said, it kept the head retention while adamantium really didn't have much head retention. Aroma, Tevatron really didn't have much of aroma, honestly, for me. Maybe I'm wrong. But the one thing I did have for taste was definitely Tevatron. It had a better taste, especially like everyone's mentioned here. 8.5 ABV, and it didn't taste boozy whatsoever. It went down really smooth. But overall, taste isn't the only thing. Obviously, we're taking into factor here. So I had the adamantium 3-2.
Yeah, we kind of realized that after the last one we did. You know, you might like a beer better, but you know, sometimes the head retention and label design can kind of give the edge to the beer that you might not.
And that's the good thing about the bracket. It's not just all based off taste. It's the whole.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
everything about the beer. So.
Yeah. So that was after round one. Brad, what's our final score here?
Yeah, final score, we got the adamantium 16.
Complicated name.
Tevatron.
It's the only thing we had complicated name up there.
We got Wolverine 16, and then we got Tevatron 9.
I think Josh said a different. I think Josh at the end was just kind of going, I believe you. So he's just saying something random the whole entire time. But hey, it started with an A, so that works. All right. So what's our next matchup?
Next matchup, we have the Reprise IPA versus the Long Snapper. Remember, this bracket is called Coast to Coast. So in the first matchup, we had the New England IPAs. Both these were New England IPAs. So now we're going to switch over to the West Coast.
And those of you that don't know the difference between New England and West Coast IPAs, New England IPAs more juicy, more of that fruit punch, whereas the West Coast, sorry Zeb, are extremely bitter and hoppy. So we're going to go ahead and get those poured up. We'll see you guys in a bit.
Goodness gracious.
All right, we are back. We've got the Long Snapper IPA along with the Reprise here. I'll go ahead and hold these up. Maybe you guys can see the colors from a distance, maybe not. The Long Snapper, a little bit more of an amber color, whereas the Reprise is more of a golden, almost like a golden lager color. So both of these IPA, Brad, you want to tell us a little bit about these two IPAs?
Yeah, we have, like I said earlier, we have the West Coast matchup here in this region. So the Reprise, that's 2 times now, ABV 7. That's what we like to hear.
Well, I like the wink.
Okay, so on tour Brewing Company in where? Yeah, you guessed it, Chicago. Okay, so then against a Long Snapper ABV at 6%. Okay, not bad. Tight Head Brewing Company in Mundelein, Illinois. I think is that a suburb?
It might be.
Okay. Anyway,
Surprise.
it's a collaboration with longtime Chicago Bears long snapper Patrick Manelli. I think he holds the record for the longest tenured Chicago Bears player. Yes.
Well,
okay.
Don't quote us
The
on
hops
that.
included in the long snapper, the Columbus, Cascade, and Centennial.
All hops which I've used when brewing my beers, so this is going to be interesting to kind of see how they play together. All right, so you guys want to go ahead? Let's start with the Reprise here.
Reprise.
Golden color. We'll go ahead and give it a quick smell. Wow, aroma wise, that smells bitter. Yes.
But it doesn't taste too bitter. I'm sorry.
Head retention wise, before we get started with that, I do
Long
want to say
snapper.
the long snapper had better head retention. So we'll
I'm
kind of
trying.
discuss that.
I'm trying.
But,
Reprise.
So reprise the taste.
I don't know. Not much flavor. In my
With
opinion.
like
It's
all I was getting ready to say that it is kind of skunky. There's a taste there I just can't put my finger on.
I don't like the finish.
Well, let's kind of describe this a little bit. It is very, very citrus hop forward. Lighter, I will say, not a super heavy IPA. You get that
not thick.
really bitter finish though.
Yeah.
So like you get that bite almost
And
at the end there.
it stays with you.
Yeah,
It's
it
still
sticks
sitting
around.
there.
The scent, like Brad said, really skunky on the.
And I think it gets stronger as it sits on your tongue.
Yeah.
It hangs there a bit.
Do I like it? I like all IPAs. West Coast are a little bit more bitter. I'm not as big of a fan, but I do.
You're a New England fanboy. Just let them all know.
I love New England IPAs.
So we're going to let Brad give a little description because he is the more bitter lover.
yeah, so what do you think?
I like it.
You like it?
I like the bitterness of it.
So really not much to it. He just say he likes it. Okay.
Okay.
We'll go ahead
It
and
just
go on.
reminds me you're drinking IPA.
Yeah.
You're gonna get
Okay. I'm going to say it already before you even smell it. Long snapper smells delicious.
Hey, what was the alcohol content on
Oh yeah, so the alcohol
7.
7% on the reprise. What is it on the long
Man, that
snapper?
smells good.
6.
6. So this is 6. So a little bit lighter here. And right off the bat, the smell on this long snapper.
I don't know how to identify the smell, but it's just delicious.
If you've ever smelled an amber bock or a shiner bock or a Killian's, you have that typical kind of like maltiness to this IPA, which is really interesting because usually you smell those in more of the amber style beers.
Man, it just smells good.
Yeah, but smells really nice.
Oh,
Taste malty. That is like a malty, orangey.
honestly, I'm getting
Orange
orange. I'm getting a
peel.
lot of orange.
Orange. Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe it's the orange that gives it. It does taste a little malty though. I don't know if you guys taste that or not, but
Yeah. I already know my pick across the board.
yeah, it's light. It's good. It's not as bitter. It's got a better finish.
It's a little bit thicker. I will say that a little bit thicker.
A little bit
But
creamier.
it,
Yeah, I
it
agree.
doesn't sit as heavy.
Yeah, and you do almost get like a punch of orange peel in there.
Can I just do this right here?
Yeah, so that is wow. Yeah, you take the bigger the sip you take, the more of the orange punch that kind of comes through.
I like the orange.
And like I said, we're gonna post these pictures up there on the long snapper. You got a guy on the hood of what looks to be, what would you say?
It's a Camaro.
Well, I
Oh,
was
no,
gonna say
never
that-
mind.
I was gonna
It's
say
got a bed. It's an El Camino.
Oh, it's an El Camino.
It's an SS
About
El
a-
Camino.
what a 1980s 1980s.
Oh, really? We're working 80s?
Well,
That's a 60.
That's, come on.
oh, was it a 60?
Yeah,
Okay, well, I don't know.
got some golf clubs on the front.
El Camino looks like it's got a what does it say? Oh, a crushable keg in the back. There it actually says crushable on the keg.
Huh.
Long snapper on the front. Where this one reprise is more of the more. Yeah, it kind of looks like a tree.
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
Can I
This one
start
is-
this one off?
60 IBUs. I'm sorry, real quick. The reprise is 60 IBUs. We don't really get an IBU. 40 IBUs.
So that makes
On the long
sense.
side,
Makes
yeah.
sense. Definitely makes sense. I'm a bit surprised or reprised, honestly. That rhymes. I apologize. 60 IBU, it's definitely a lot better than 60, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I don't know about anyone else. I mean, I'll go ahead and start this off. I've got long snapper across the board. The aroma, the head retention, the taste is definitely better. Label design, I mean, it's got an El Camino on it. I mean, it's pretty sharp. Taste, I love anything that's got a little bit citrusy. And it just had a really smooth start to finish.
Yeah, that's what some of these beers, especially West Coast IPAs, you get more of the bitterness and less of the flavor in the beer. This one you can actually taste the
Yeah,
citrus.
and that's what I like
actually
about it.
taste the orange.
And it didn't have a terrible aftertaste. It had a good taste start to finish.
I agree. Josh, do you want to follow up with that?
Yeah, I also had long snapper across the board. Of course, the can, it's cool. He's hiking the football on the El Camino. I mean, that's pretty cool to me. The taste, I love the taste. To me, the reprise,
Oh,
it was just way too bitter for me. I didn't like it as much.
Oh no.
I just wasn't a fan.
As you can hear, one of our friends in the background. Oh no, he's also not a fan of the Reprise. I'm gonna stick with you guys on that. The long snapper across the board. Everything from aroma to head retention. I'm not going to get into much detail. You know, when it's an overall better beer, overall better style, overall better label design, and head retention. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at that and say it's long snapper across the board. You guys kind of covered it pretty well.
Mine's a little bit closer because do I have long snapper winning 3-2? Yes. Do I like the Reprise better? Is it more drinkable beer, should I say? Yes. Okay, so aroma, I gave it to Reprise, like the smell a little bit better. Creativity, a lot going on with that long snapper, I gave it to long snapper. Taste, Reprise, a little more drinkable, like I mentioned. Design, the long snapper, it tells a whole story. It tells a history of a player that's not going to be spoken about on ever, but here he's a special guy. Head retention, long snapper, I thought it was a lot better. 3-2, long snapper.
Okay. I've got 4-1 long snapper. I actually liked the aroma on the Reprise.
Okay.
It hit you a lot more. I thought that long snapper was a little bit dull. It was there, but I actually liked Reprise a lot better on the aroma. The rest is long snapper. Speak for itself. We've already beat the same drum on the snapper, on the label, and all that good stuff. Love the drinkability on the long snapper a lot better than the Reprise. The Reprise had the aftertaste. That's a lot what I look for on the IPA, just because I'm not crazy about it. I don't want it to sit on my tongue. So definitely long snapper for me.
Good. Josh, what was your score?
Oh, I had long snapper across the board.
Okay, so yeah, it's an absolute,
It's a landslide.
it's a bloodbath. Long snapper, final score, 22-3. It's a biggest blowout tournament we had so far. It's a bad deal. Yeah, we got round 2, Sweet 16 matchup. We have
Adamantium.
All right, we got Adamantium back versus the Haze Juice. Was this an IPA tube? I
Yeah.
assume. Okay.
6.7 ABV out of
Borbanus, Illinois.
Bourbonnaise.
Bourbonnais.
Hey.
That's Brickstone. Brewery.
Brickstone.
You can say that, Josh, but you can't say Adamantium.
It happens.
All right, so let's go ahead. Just a quick refresher, guys, on the Adamantium. We'll go ahead and give this. We just have a little sample here to kind of taste. And just a little refresher here. Adamantium, like we said before, light, lower IBUs, 6.8%. Extremely crushable beer. Very good. And then on to the haze. We'll go ahead and give the
Tastes
quick
like hell
smell.
that time.
Good.
I got a bad swig.
I'm not gonna lie. I agree.
Yeah,
I took a swig and I'm like, hey, how did this win?
About puke. And I've about puked 5-6 times tonight. That was the worst one.
We'll go ahead and give the haze a quick.
Great smell.
Very, very juicy. Right off the bat, extremely juicy. It smells like a fruit cocktail.
In the words of
And-
what Marcy's Playground, smells like sex and candy.
I'm gonna go ahead and stick with the fruitiness that I explained. So we'll go ahead and give the haze a quick. We like to have fun, guys. We're gonna go ahead and give the haze a quick smell and taste. Honestly, a little disappointed. Was expecting more of a burst of fruit flavor.
It's real watery.
It's extremely watery. What is the percent of this beer?
This was a 6.7.
Interesting.
So they're similar.
So I think
Yeah.
you're lying.
Yeah.
False
man.
advertisement, guys. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
But it
This
smells so juicy, but it doesn't have any juicy taste whatsoever.
Oh, okay. So this has actually got Citra, Mosaic, and Huel hops in it. The Huel hops I've actually used on one of the beers that I made. Actually, the last beer that I made for my Fruit Bazooka, it's more of a melon type hop. So that would describe some of the smell. But taste wise,
I'm so surprised that something that has so much aroma has such a watered down taste.
it's not bad, but I am disappointed. I was
Yeah.
expecting a lot more. The label alone led me to believe this would be a more extravagant, like, punch to the mouth, and it's not. I went ahead and I had the hazed winning 4-1 against the Adamantium. For the aroma, creativity, label design, and head retention, that went to the haze. Now, when it comes to label design, I do like the abstract, colorful, design they have on here. It's just more appealing to the eye. However, I'm not saying I don't like this label, but this one, if I were to walk into a liquor store and I see these two side to side, this one was going to catch my eye first. So that's kind of
I'm a big fan of the black cans.
Yeah, that too. Yeah,
They're
I
sharp.
agree. Black tabs, black cans, extremely intriguing, very interesting. So that's kind of where I went for the label design. I think we all have seen when we poured the beers, the head retention on the haze was also a lot higher. Taste-wise, the reason I went with the adamantium is just because, I think I oversold this in my mind, and then when I tasted it, the watered downness to it, it just kind of, it was a little underwhelming to me. So I went ahead and went back to the adamantium. I think it had a lot better taste, and it was more of a crushable beer, even at 6.8%. This one's 6.7%. The aroma, once again, went with the hazed here, simply for the fact that I got that huge punch of citrus, that melon, fruit flavor. However, it did not come through in the taste.
No.
I was a little upset. But the aroma was very, very nice. So I have a 4-1. If you guys want to chime in on those, Brad or Mason,
I'll go. Jacob hit on a couple key points, so I won't as Zeb said earlier, beat the drum with that. Head retention clearly was a hazed. Label design, I differed on that because I'm a big Wolverine fan, so I really do I kind of like the elemental design of that. So I picked that. I actually had it really close. I had it 3-2.
Okay.
Aroma, haze, creativity, the haze, because they threw in a few more different hops, and
yeah, the melon hops did come through.
Exactly. The taste, Jake said, haze was watered down. If it tasted as good as it smelled, it'd been hazy across the board. So I had 3-2 the haze, and the deciding factor was at the end was the head retention.
Yeah, and before we move on, we've had a lot of other Brickstone beer, and we know they have really good beer. So I think, like I said, I kind of oversold this in my head like another Brickstone beer. I'm really excited to try it, and it was a little underwhelming. So.
But it's hard because it smells so good.
Yeah.
If those flavors, like you said, could have came through a little bit better. Initial, the mango flavor, it would have pushed it over 80. But I still have haze winning it, but I just really wish that the flavors would have came through a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree. Jeff, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, so I have haze 3-2. Can't get over the adamantium label. I love it. And I actually tied that in with the creativity. Didn't know if I was supposed to do that or not. But I just think the whole design, feel, taste, everything in general, I think is just a creative beer. I really like the Brickstone. It's good. I do like the label as well. But if it was up against anything else, I would pick it. But I just love the adamantium thing going on. So the head retention obviously was a Brickstone.
Yep.
I liked the taste of it better. It was smoother, not as bitter, which I told you before that's not what I'm looking for. I thought it was a little bit more drinkable, the haze. The aroma was definitely the haze for me. It smelled juicy. It was fruity, in my opinion. So I have the haze 3-2.
Brad, anything else?
Yep, just about the same thing you guys said. I got 4-1 on the haze. Love the aroma. It's just a great IPA that I love to drink. This is an IPA I love to drink. Creativity, I love everything going on with it. Love everything that comes forward with it. Taste, same thing goes along with the creativity. And the label design, that was my only one I gave to the periodical table one. Said it wrong again. That's where I gave it. That's where I differed on it. And then head retention, I gave the haze.
Josh, last one. What do we got here?
I got 4-1 the haze. I just thought the haze was better. The taste was a little bit weak, but all in all, I still think it's a great beer. It's an easy drinker. With
And for 6.7.
Yeah, it's a really easy drinker, but with the adamantium, it's really bitter to me, and I feel like you only have one or two and just be done. But with that, I feel like you could have a couple and be good.
Yep, I agree with that. You can drink more than one and you're still going to enjoy the second, third, and fourth.
Yeah. You just keep going. You can drink a whole 6-pack if you want to.
Honestly.
So we got the number 2 seed, the Haze Juice Hazy IPA, beating a nice run by the number 6 seed, Aluminium.
Wow, yeah, that wasn't. I didn't realize it was a 6 seed.
It was a 6 seed, so it pulled off an upset in the first round, but got beat by a very strong Hazed Juice Hazy IPA from Brickstone. It's going to move on to the Elite 8, to the regional finals, and we're going to see who it goes up against next.
All right, so what are our next 2 beers then?
We have the Launch Midwest Hazy IPA, the number 1 seed in the region of this Coast to Coast region.
Launch.
It's a Midwest IPA, and then it's going to go against the Long Snapper that won in the first round.
It might just launch itself to the championship.
Okay, dad jokes. Get him out of here.
It's a number 4 seed, I believe.
Oh, okay, we got our Long Snapper
Number 5 seed.
Number 5 seed going against the Launch Juice
Number 1 seed.
number 1 seed. So just a quick refresher, guys. We're not going to get the launch yet. We're going to go with the Long Snapper. Just do a quick refresher. Smell and taste of this. This was what I believe was more orangey, correct?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Orange,
orange, malty, lighter, good, slight bitterness at the end. Not really much more
It's smooth.
I want to say about
watery.
that. We'll go into launch now. Quick smell of the launch, and wow, right off the bat.
It smells like a New England style
Real quick,
hazy.
before we ruin this, Brad, go ahead and tell us about the launch.
Go for it.
Okay, so we got the Launch Juice Midwest Hazy IPA. So it's out of Obscurity Brewing Company in Elbert, Illinois, which I believe.
I was surprised. It's probably a suburb of
Suburb of
Chicago.
Chicago.
Let's just assume they're all suburbs
So
of
it's
Chicago.
a 6.7 ABV.
Okay.
What's
Don't think it
with?
has
What
the.
kind of hops we
Oh,
got?
here we go. Midwest Hazy IPA with Citra and Trident hops mashed with corn and oats. Beautiful. All
You
right.
better be buying them corn and oats from local farmers. I tell you that right now.
All right. So let's go ahead, guys. Give the launch a quick smell. Get the aroma here. I honestly get like corn and oats on the nose, or like
I think it smells like it's a traditional New England style hazy. in
it's
my
like
opinion.
juicy, but I get the what do you want to call it? Like the weediness or whatever you want to. The graininess, the grains. Yeah, I do smell that though. Let's go ahead and give it a taste.
I do taste the grains at the end.
Yeah. The oats. It's almost like oaty. Kind of like. That is
It's good.
extremely good.
Very good.
That's good.
This is 6.7%. And this. What is it that I am tasting at the end that is so good? It is like just. You get like a really good, kind of like lighter, fruity, juicy taste at the beginning, but at the end it finishes with almost straight, like melony fruit taste. And I can't pinpoint what exactly it is.
Can I?
Yes.
Okay. So, I honestly had another close one.
Okay.
I had Launch Juice, 3-2. Aroma, Long Snapper. I'm biased. I like anything orange I like an orange a lot. So a very strong orange smell. So I had Long Snapper on the aroma. Creativity, again, between the different flavors of Long Snapper and the can design. I know I just like Zeb, I kind of mix the two together. Don't know if I'm supposed to do that. So creativity went Long Snapper as well. So started off 2-0 Long Snapper. Taste, that's when the Launch Juice kind of took over. Is very smooth, start to finish. You get a bit of that grainy, weedy taste, and I'm a big fan of that. Start to finish, it finishes really smooth. Label design, I actually ended up going Launch Juice. It's just a sharp-looking can. And then head retention ended up being the deciding factor because it was 2-2 at the time and went Launch Juice. So I got Launch Juice 3-2.
Josh, what do you got?
I had Launch Juice across the board. What it did was, it just launched my taste buds to another dimension.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
I loved it. It was good. The taste was good. The aroma was good. The can, it's an astronaut blasting off. It's an all-around fantastic beer.
Yeah, we're gonna go clean sweep with the launch juice once again. Aroma, just for me, if I were to go into a brewery You know, I love the more fruity, kind of citrusy New England styles IPA, and this is a West Coast. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is a West Coast IPA. The launch, or is it a New England?
These should all be.
Well, they technically call it a Midwest.
Okay. So
it had a very
for
New
this-
England style smell to it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and taste.
this all reminded me of a New England style IPA. I just really enjoyed it. Like we said, head retention. We're going to go ahead and give that to the launch here. I don't think there's any debate on that.
Nope.
Label design. I just like the creativity of this. Yes, not taking away from this one. This one's very creative as well. I don't know. I just kind of like the beauty of this one launching into space, like Josh had mentioned here. And taste and creativity. You know, all the things just work together in this beer to make one complete, nice, great tasting IPA. That's really all I got to say about it. So, Brad, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, not across the board, but 4-1 in favor of launch. The only thing I gave Long Snapper was the label design. It's just a portrait. This is just kind of generic and doesn't do much for me for launch. But other than that, it's all launch. Go ahead, Zeb.
Okay, so I'm the same as Brad, 4-1, and Long Snapper on the label design speaks for itself. Aroma, I actually like the launch better. I thought it hit me a little bit better as far as right off the bat. I combine aroma with taste. They go hand in hand. Launch was way better on the taste, very drinkable. No bitter taste at the end, smooth. It's a beer that you can drink time and time again. So creativity, I love the launch because they put corn and oats in it. Obviously, I'm going to be biased on that, being a farmer. But love that they done that, and the head retention was launch, hands down. Sat there and looked at the beer. The launch was the only one with the head that was still there while we just sat here. So I pretty much just gave Long Snapper the label design, mainly because I didn't want to put 5 on 1. But I do like the label design, so I gave it to them. But launch overall is probably the best beer here tonight.
All right, and real quick, even if there's not apricot in this, I'm still getting that apricot taste. So whatever they did, they combined on here to give it that taste.
I've never had apricot in my life.
It's phenomenal. So Brad, go ahead. And,
It's a blowout. Launch 21-4, so Long Snapper.
Shoot, I had 2 of
But
those.
it's out. So Launch Juice Midwest Hazy IPA is going to move on to take on the number 2 seed, the Hazed Juice Hazy IPA in the Elite 8, the Coast to Coast Regional Final
so this should be the last one for Region 3.
for Region 3.
Yeah, so once we get this last one poured, that'll be in Region 3, and then we're going to go on to Region 4, which might be in the next video. So we'll go ahead and get these last 2 off. Announce your winner for Region 3.
All right, so we have the Coast to Coast region. We have the final. We have the number 2 seed Hazed Hazy IPA against the number 1 seed Launch Juice Midwest Hazy IPA. So just for a refresher, the Midwest, the Launch Juice, it has a 6.7 IPA, and we're
ABV.
what did I say? ABV, yeah. Sorry. And then the on the Haze, it has a ABV of 6.7.
All right, so let's go ahead and refresher on the haze since we just had the launch. We'll go ahead and taste the haze here.
I don't know.
Like we said before, this is Brickstone, right? Brickstone. A little underwhelming and stuff like that. I think I had oversold it in my head. And real quick, just so you guys can see this as well, we'll go ahead and throw. We don't have the cans out here right now. We'll go ahead and throw the can designs up on screen so you guys can see those. But what? Oh, okay. And then back to the launch again. Yeah. It's gonna be a tough one. I'm gonna go ahead and start this one off. It actually was closer than what I had originally thought it was going to be. I do have a launch winning 3-2. Launch takes the creativity for me, the taste, and the head retention. Similar to all the things that we touched on all those points before with the launch. Going back to the haze, though, I do like the aroma of that haze. It's just more of a citrusy kind of punch of fruit, and I really enjoyed that. So it does take the aroma for me, and it actually does take the label design. Mason had brought up the black can itself, catches the eye, and then the bright colors as well. Love the launch juice design as well. Just had to give it to the haze on that one. Try not to be biased because I do like the launch a lot more. But launch still comes out on top 3-2. Overall, great, easy drinking IPA. This is something you guys could probably drink any time of the year, really. I would say probably fall. More of a fall beer, though, if you really, really wanted a time to drink it. So, launch for me. Brad, what do you got?
I can't believe I did it, but I did it. It's a clean sweep, 5-0 across the board, hazed.
Oh,
yes, I loved a lot of things about it. I thought it had more smell to it compared to the launch. Really stood out. The creativity, this is a real close one. Slightly gave it to haze there. The taste, hazed. Thought it hit just a little better, a little smoother, more drinkable. Gave the label design to haze. Like I said, I mentioned before, didn't really like the launch design that much. And then head retention, again, very close, but gave the haze there.
Go for it.
I had launch juice across the board, 5-0.
Oh, shoot.
This is going to be close.
This is going to be a close one. It's not the closest one.
I'm torn.
I just thought launch juice was better. It had more flavor with the haze, kind of flat. I just thought the launch juice was just blew out the water, I thought.
Zeb, since you're torn, let's go to you first. Mason, you can wrap it up.
Okay.
So I'll go to Zeb here real quick.
So I'm going from the hip here. My last one is taste. I want to go with launch because my last review I said launch was the best beer here, but it wasn't up against haze. I forgot all about it actually. So I'm actually going to go with haze
It's so close.
on the taste. It is. I'll agree with Brad. It's more drinkable. Launch is very good. It's an excellent beer, but it's just not quite as drinkable. It's a little bit bitter. And I know everybody, you're going to say that that's wrong with IPAs. You're not supposed to rate that. But I think haze is more drinkable. The aroma, I put haze. It has a juiciness. It has a better smell, in my opinion. Creativity is launch because of the corn and oats incorporated in it. I love that. I'm not going to get away from it. Label design is hazed. It pops at you. I love it. And I said that back against adamantium. Hazed, if it was up against anything else, it would win. And I'll stand by that. Since it's up against launch, we're going to go ahead and go with it on label design. Head retention was launch, hands down. I sat there and looked at it. 2 minutes plus, swirled it, whatever. Launch had it, hands down, on the head retention. So, I'm going with hazed 3-2.
So right now, correct me if I'm wrong, Brad, we're tied. This is a tie.
10-10.
It is 10-10 right now. Mason, go ahead and tell us what you got.
I'm going to remember his day. Okay. Maybe this is biased because haze sat in the can a little bit longer. I honestly have Launchpad 4-1. So, obviously, we already know Launchpad wins because we're tied, blah, blah, blah. But I'm still going to go through my review. Aroma, honestly, the haze to me had a little bit of a kind of a skunky aroma compared to the launch for me. Everyone has different senses, whatever. Creativity, I also had Launchpad. Zeb touched on it. Been around agriculture my whole life. You can't go away from the fact that they incorporated corn and oats. So right there, 2-0 with Launchpad. Taste, I'm with Launchpad. Haze, when I went 2-2, I kept on going back and forth, taking very small sips. Haze tasted a little bit more watered down to me. So I'm not going to take anything away from Zeb. Zeb doesn't like IPAs too much, doesn't like the bitterness. So he likes it because it went down a little bit smoother.
That's the difference
But
in us.
exactly,
That's what I said.
I like IPAs, so launch had a little bit more bitterness,
bitter.
so therefore it had more flavor to me.
Yep.
So that was the big deciding factor right there too. Label design, Brad thinks it's a little bit generic, but they got a lot going on. I do like it. The only thing I have with Haze is I had head retention. So for me, it was Launchpad.
Wow.
14-11.
14. That would have been the closest match we've had.
Yeah.
So
Pretty close.
They're the two best beers here.
Very
that
true.
was
for
good.
sure.
So that ends our Region 3, Brad, correct?
Yep.
And that is the launch coming out on top. So now we have, let's just do a recap real quick of our final, what beers we have in the finals right now.
Okay, right now, before we did in the Stout and Porter region, we did If You're Not Into Yoga. That one won. It's a play on the Pina Colada, the number 3 seed coming out of that region. And then before also we had the number 1 seed out of the Lager region, the Holy Jeans out of Bloomington, Illinois. It was the Goliath of this whole tournament. It's the kind of the overall favorite right now, but Holy Jeans will go up against the number 1 seed Launch Juice IPA.
All right. And that is actually the end of Region 3. That's actually the end of this video, guys. So stay tuned for the next one. We're going on to Region 4, which is the Pale Ale region. Make sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, we are all about the brews.
So sit back and blast off.